Hi guys, Mrs. Mattingly here. So I'm going to finish reading Addison Cooke, Tomb of the Con, Chapter 3. This is part 2. And we're at the bottom of page 304, the last sentence. How about I whistle a bar of Beethoven's Appassionate Sonata? Okay, fine, said Addison. And if I hear a bar of any other sonnets, I'll know 8th grader impersonating you. Eddie, Nobody, and I Don't Care trotted off to their positions. Addison's group turned to the weapons room. Raj dropped to his knees, removed a can from his blazer pocket, and spritzed a thick cloud of hairspray a few inches above the door. This will show if there are hidden laser sensors. Addison coughed, waiting for the cloud to clear, and strolled right into the gallery. Molly followed. Wait! There could be heat sensors, or infrared, Raj whispered. It's an archaeological museum, not a CIA bunker, said Addison calmly. Look, I'm counting on the chance that we might set off an alarm or two. We just need to do this quickly and have a good escape planned. Did you plan a good escape? Asked Molly. I do my best planning at the last second. Molly frowned at this. I could find a utility closet and shut off all the circuit breakers in the museum, Raj volunteered. When the power goes out, we'll have an easier time making our escape. Addison thought this sounded like overkill and possibly dangerous, but Raj was quivering with excitement. Addison nodded his assent and Raj somersaulted out of the gallery. Addison took a deep breath and smoothed his hair, settling his nerves. It was now down to him and Molly to pull off this heist. They crossed the marble tiles of the gallery and stood beneath the giant lance. 10 feet long, tapered to a hard point, and scarred by a dozen battles, 2 metal brackets cradled into the wall. He leaned close to the lance and examined the wall brackets. Pressure sensors, he declared. The devices were very simple. Once the lance was lifted from each cradle, a spring would lift and sound an alarm. Molly's fingers were smaller than Addison's. She plucked the black hair tie from her ponytail and pinched down one bracket cradle with a thumb and a forefinger. A single drop of sweat beaded on her forehead and rolled down her face, but she ignored it. Addison carefully took her hair tie and double-looped it to clamp down the spring action of the bracket. Have any more of those? He whispered, hardly daring to breathe. Molly plucked a square hair tie from the collection she kept on her wrist. Addison repeated the procedure on the second wall clamp. Satisfied, he nodded to Molly and took a deep breath. Here goes. Together, very gently, they lifted the great lance off the wall mount. It was like shifting a baby from its crib without trying to wake it. No alarm sounded. This might actually work, Addison whispered. They carefully set the old, battered lance on the floor. Addison found French words scratched into the iron shaft. We did it, Mo! This is the lance of Sir Frederick! Before he could elaborate, a Russian voice spoke up behind him. Well done. Now hand it over. Addison turned and saw the gloating face of Boris Rhagar. And as was his habit, Boris was blocking any possible retreat. Addison checked his memory bank and was pretty sure he hadn't heard any whistled refrains from the Appassionate Sonata, or any other Beethoven sonata for that matter. He glared at Boris. What did you do to Eddie? Who? Our lookout. I didn't see any lookout. Did you come up the main staircase from the atrium? I did. And didn't you see a tall, skinny kid with black hair and a raging metabolism? Nope. Huh? Can we return to the issue at hand? Well, actually, I'm a bit concerned about Eddie. Hand over the lance, Cook. Right, about that, said Addison, who had no interest in turning over the lance. His plan was to keep stalling until he could think up a good diversion. The thing is, at that moment, an ear-splitting blast rocketed the museum. That's the end of chapter 30. Bye, guys.